Hello there, and welcome to another episode of the Straight Talks about Small Business Success podcast. I've got a special guest with us. His name is Clay. Clay brings a wealth of knowledge. He's a business coach. He's been around small businesses for the last 12 years, and he's got an interesting story. So we're going to start off with his interesting story, and then I've got a bunch of questions that I want to really dive into and get his insights on that. Clay, I understand you were a teacher at one point in time. How does a teacher go into having the impact that you're having with small businesses?
Yeah. Wow. And again, Celine, first of all, thank you very much for inviting me onto the show today. I'm looking forward to having a good conversation with you as well as bringing value to your listeners. Okay. That's really what I'm wanting to do today is bring as much value as I can to your listeners in a short amount of time. But yeah, I was a high school science teacher for 15 years. I growing up, leadership always I was always fascinated with leadership and was always, it started out being a punk and I just wanted to lead everything. Didn't want to be a follower. But I found that I always have been drawn to leadership. And so I was a high school teacher and coach for 15 years, primarily up in Kansas City, in the Kansas City area. And Salim, after 15 years, I started hearing this voice inside of my head. And some of your listeners may be able to relate to this voice that was saying, Clay, there's more. There's more than you've accessed so far. There's more to you. And it was like, oh no. But the thing is, Celine, I listened to that voice and I allowed that voice to lead me forward. So I left teaching. I left teaching after 15 years. Nobody does that, Celine. Nobody leaves teaching after 15 years. But I left teaching and I came back to Oklahoma and I took over my family's ministry. My mom and dad started a Christian summer camp all the way back in 1972, just north of Tulsa called Shepherd's Fold Ranch. And it's a Christian summer camp for kids. So that's where I grew up. So I left teaching and came and took over Shepherd's Fold and ran that for 10 years. And that was my first experience in this whole thing of dealing with, it was a nonprofit, but just dealing with managing multiple things.
Mm,
But Salim, after 10 years of doing that, here's that voice again. Clay, there's more. There's
mm,
more than you've accessed so far in you. There's more to you. And it's like, okay. So I listened to the voice again. And this was back in 2012 when I started the Leadership Initiative. So what's going on at this point is I shifted from running Shepherd's Fold Ranch, where we started a discipleship training school. I shifted from there to begin to doing coaching, teaching, coaching, training,
mm,
mentoring, developing, and leading. Something I'd already been doing for 25 years. I started doing that with business owners. And now I've
mm,
been doing that for the last 12 years. I knew that I had the skill. I knew that I had the talent, just like many of your listeners, but I didn't know how to build a business around that skill. And so as soon as I started, I was 47 years old at that point. So man, talk about training an old dog, new tricks.
mm,
So I immediately got a business coach to help me build a company that could function without me. That's what I wanted to do. I wanted to build a business that didn't
mm,
require me 24/7.
mm,
And so that's how I started back in 2012 with the Leadership Initiative. I started doing business coaching with other business leaders. We've got to a point now where the team that I have, we work with about 200 small business owners in multiple industries all over the country. And Celine, what I've done is I've followed my own advice and I got to the point where my business was actually functioning with me not having to be there more and more and more.
mm.
Even got to the point where I was only going into the office one day a week. And this was back in 2021. And at that point, my business coach that I'm still running with to this day, my business coach said, Clay, I think you need to run for office. It's like, whoa, what? So I did. I ran for office because I had the time freedom, and I
Mm.
won, Celine. So I am
Oh,
right
wow.
now. I am a representative. I'm in the House of Representatives in the state of Oklahoma, and so I have my coaching business going, and I'm a representative at the Capitol in Oklahoma City. Because your business, Celine, your business for your listeners, it exists to serve you. It exists to serve you. It's a vehicle to help you achieve the things in life that you want to do. But
Mm.
man, so many of us can get trapped in our businesses, and it's so hard when you get trapped in your business. So hopefully we'll get a chance to talk a little bit about, what are the steps? What are the moves that you need to take so
Yeah.
that you don't get trapped in the business?
Yeah. Yeah. Let's unpack that, man. What is it? What gets in the way? What's like the
What
main biggest thing that you see getting in the way for folks that want to create a business and function without them? That's the dream, right? We start a
Oh
business not to
yeah.
be a slave of it. We want to create a business that's going to serve us rather than the other way around. What gets what's
Yeah,
the obstacle?
I would say from my own experience, okay, I haven't done any scientific experiments or anything like this, any surveys, but from the books that I've read, to the hundreds of clients that we've worked with over the past 12 years, um, I would say one of the single biggest things that gets in the way. And this is something that really sets our coaching program at the Leadership Initiative. It really sets us apart from any other business coaching program that I've seen across the country, is that the biggest limiting factor is usually the mindset of the owner, the mindset of the leader. And if I can explain that a little bit, what I
Please.
mean by that is, um, we probably all heard the phrase before. If you want it done right, you got to do it yourself.
Mm.
That's a very common phrase, and I love that phrase. That's a great phrase. But I only want my workers to be thinking that way. I only want my workers
Mm.
to be thinking, if I want it done right, I've got to do the job. If I'm thinking that as a business owner, I'm screwed.
Mm.
Because if you want it done right, you got to do it yourself. Now, who's doing everything by themselves? And Salim, I will totally agree with any business owner that says, Clay, it's just easier if I do it. It's just better if I do it. Well, you're exactly right. It is easier,
Mm.
and it probably will be better if you
Right.
do it.
Right.
But the problem is you're doing it. You're
Yeah.
doing it. And so we have to move that mindset
Mm.
from, if you want it done right, you got to do it yourself. The next level is what I call a team builder. Okay. So we go from a worker mindset to a team builder mindset. And a team builder mindset, that same phrase, if you want it done right, a team builder will say, get other people to do it with you. And that's a
Mm.
key word, do it with you. That's a team builder. That's a team builder. If you want it done right, get other people to do it with you.
Mm.
And then from the team builder level, we expand our thinking into a manager. So we've got worker, team builder, and now manager. And a manager is thinking, same phrase, if you want it done right, create a system. Create a system to do it. Unfortunately, what happens so often, Salim, is we take great workers and we promote them to management. And so you've got this worker mindset. If you want it done right, do it yourself. We put them into management, and now they have to manage multiple things, not just their job, but they have to manage
Clay,
multiple other people's jobs.
sorry to interrupt you. We've got an issue with
Sure.
audio.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the last 30 seconds, the words were not, there was,
Were they
I couldn't
breaking
hear
up or
you.
something?
They were breaking
Okay.
up.
All right. Do I need to go back and we can start back a little ways? Is that good to
Um,
go?
yeah, I think we're good to go. Just letting the editing team know that they'll have to kind of do something there.
Okay.
But if
Yeah.
you, as
Good
much
luck
as
with
you
that.
want to kind of go back to, just 30 seconds back.
Okay. Yeah. So there's these different mindsets that we have as as in different positions in the workforce. There is a mindset of a worker. There's a mindset of a team builder. There's a mindset of a manager. And then there's a mindset of a leader. 4 different mindsets that need to go on. And unfortunately, most entrepreneurs are wonderful at the worker mindset. The worker mindset says, if you want it done right, you got to do it yourself. And everybody goes, oh, yeah, that's right. And I've heard a lot of entrepreneurs say that. If you want it done right, you just got to do it yourself. And I agree with that. But the problem is that if you're doing it yourself, then you've got to go to work every day.
Right.
And you're with that mindset, I promise you're never going to be able to delegate to other people.
Right.
Because you want it done right. You want it done fast. You want it done best. And you know that you're the one that will always do it the best. You'll do it the fastest, and you'll do it the rightest, And so it's hard to delegate.
Are these 4 steps like steps on a ladder? You start a business and you've got the worker mindset. What comes next? You said manager?
Oh yeah, the next one is a team builder.
Is the team builder.
Team builder.
So
and
then
that's where you are getting other people to do it with you.
Right.
Do it with you. And again, that's a key step that most managers never achieve. Is actually getting other people to do good work with them.
So if you've got a company with a team of 5 people, the owner and they've got 5 people, right? The owner hired these 5 people. They're a team builder so that they can work. They're hands-on. Their team is hands-on. So they've kind of gone from this one solopreneur, owner-operator to having a team of 5.
Yeah.
Right. So they're doing the work as well. And then do they climb to the manager level where they're not doing the work and they're managing the team?
Well, how about this? Before you get to the point where you're not doing the work, what we need to do, the manager mindset is, if you want to do it right, create a system to follow. If you want it done right, create a system. And usually this is the step that we miss as entrepreneurs because we're just too busy. Right. We don't have time to write down things. Right. You literally can, Celine. You literally can, unless you're an artist. Okay, I'll use that caveat. Unless you're an artist, but most businesses are scalable, meaning you can train other people to do 80% of it. Okay, you're never going to be able to train 100% of you. Okay, this is not going to work, but you can get 80% at least. And so the idea is to get 80% of your work out of your head and onto paper. If I were to do this job, and we'll just say that I'm the best one at this job, here's how I would do it. Step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4. Here's how I would do it. And now I want to take those steps, that system, and train it to somebody else that's competent. But again, most business owners get too busy in the work and they don't have time to write it down and get it into a system. And so again, it comes back to them. And they get frustrated with their workers. Unfortunately, we get frustrated at workers because they're not doing what we told them to do. Although we haven't managed them well. We've told them what to do, but we haven't given them instructions on how to do what to do. And so that management level, I think that management bridge is the bridge between getting stuck in your business and getting freedom on the other side. It's that management level. And Celine, if I can, there are 5 different things that you and I, as entrepreneurs, and for your listeners out there, entrepreneurs that are out there, that you feel like your business is unorganized and you're trying to get things done, but you just don't have time to get things done, and business is kind of crazy. You may be successful, you're making money, but it's just crazy town in the office. There are 5 things that you and I need to learn how to manage and get better and better and better at it. And Celine, these 5 things, they actually go in order, just like the mindset. Just like the mindsets, they go in order. And the first thing that we have to learn, I call them the 5 management dragons. And you and I have to become dragon slayers in our company, and we have to get better and better and better at slaying these dragons. And it's kind of like a video game. If you don't slay the first one, you're screwed. All right. You're not going any further. So step 1, the first dragon is what I call the emotional dragon. I'm actually in the process of writing a book right now that incorporates all of this. But the first dragon is the emotional dragon. You and I, Salim, have to learn how to manage our emotions. Now, again, I'm not saying be non-emotional. I'm not saying being a robot. But we have to learn how to manage our emotions. Okay. And the weapon that I talk about on how to manage your emotions is having a strong sense of identity, a strong sense of self. And I go into that piece of it quite a bit in a book that I have called Grow. It's a field guide to personal growth. Again, it's called Grow. And if you're in the spot right now where you go, oh my gosh, that's me. There's a lot of drama going on in the office and everything. And I'm kind of the Pied Piper. I'm kind of the drama person. The book Grow will help you grow out of that and learn how to manage your emotions. But once we start getting a handle at managing our emotions, we can now actually get some traction on the next dragon, which is the time dragon, managing your time. I promise you, Salim, and you probably know what I'm talking about here, okay? And I'm sure that your listeners do here, is that most of the time when someone says, how's your week? It's like, oh, just been crazy. Oh my gosh, it's just been busy. And, you know, the eyes are rolling and the voice and all this kind of stuff. All of that is emotional. And the reason why so often we're not able to manage our time or to stay on some kind of consistent schedule is because other humans will come into our world and we will respond emotionally. An employee will come in, man, I really need to talk to you. Okay, I don't have time right now, but I feel like I need to talk to you, you know? And so our emotions get in the way, Salim, and now we can't follow a schedule. So it's not that I don't have the discipline. I don't think it's a discipline problem. That may set some of your listeners free right there. Okay. It's not a discipline problem. You're not well, I have no self-discipline. No, we just haven't learned how to manage our emotions yet. Once you begin, like I said, once you begin to manage those emotions better and better, now you will be able to manage your time better. The next dragon, and again, managing your time is just about following a schedule. That's the weapon. That's the tool. It's not rocket science. You know, it's not just time blocking. But most people can't follow a time schedule because they get emotional. Okay. The third dragon is your work dragon, managing your work. And as you can imagine, if you can't manage your time, you're screwed on managing your work. Why didn't you get the work done? Well, I didn't have time.
The time, right.
Yeah. And why didn't you have time? Well, it's just been crazy. You know, it's just stuff. It's going on. It's like, oh my gosh, Clay, you just wouldn't imagine. It's like, okay, we got to manage emotions so we can manage time, so we can manage work. And managing your work, it's not rocket science. The weapon is simply a to-do list. We just follow the to-do list. Just put what you need to get done onto a to-do list. Well, Clay, it'll be 3 pages long. I know. That's how long mine is. All right. But it's not like these are the things I need to get done right now. These are things that just need to be achieved.
Right.
And then the fourth dragon, once I have managed my emotions, manage your time, manage your work. Now you've managed your work. So now you have money to manage. But if you don't manage your work, you're not going to have the money. And now can you imagine not having the money? Oh my gosh, I'm sure none of your listeners have ever dealt with that, not having the money. But that really starts screwing with your emotions, you know? But with the money, what we do with all of our clients is we just help them with an income and expense sheet. That's all we do. We just track cash flow is what we're doing. So wonderful tool to help you know where your money is. And then once we're able to manage the money, now we can start bringing in people. And that's the fifth management dragon, is managing humans. Ugh.
Mm,
I think I think it's probably something that's pretty familiar with all of us entrepreneurs is we're really busy for a season, so we hire people and we're using them, but then all of a sudden the season slows down, and now I've got all these people that I don't have money because
mm,
I'm not managing my work well to be
mm,
able to create that steady stream of
mm,
revenue into the company. And Salim, last thing on that, when people come into your business and you've hired people, what do you think is the very first thing you're going to have to help them manage on a daily basis? Their emotions.
right,
And here we go. And if you
right.
haven't learned how to manage your emotions
Mm,
and they come into your company, now there's
mm,
just a lot of drama in the
right.
business and everybody's kind of on edge and it's
Mm,
just not a fun place to work. So those are the 5 management dragons. And those are things that we work with each of our clients on, how to
mm,
get better and better and better at managing each of those levels. Because, once you learn how to manage your time, it's not like, okay, you never have to deal with that again. Oh no, you'll have to keep getting better and better and
yeah,
learning how to slay those dragons. Is
yeah.
that is that helpful? Does that make
It
sense
is
at all?
very helpful, and you gave us a weapon in each of the in a number of them, and yeah, the things
Yeah,
that you said. But what's your weapon for the emotion stuff?
yeah. And again, on the emotion, I've done, from being a teacher and coach, from being in ministry, and even with my clients as a business owner, the what I have discovered is the most powerful weapon to help you manage your emotions is having a strong sense of self, having an anchor, having a strong foundation of identity in yourself. It can be really difficult. And man, Salim, I had to work really hard on this. When I became a business owner, all of a sudden, all of my inner fears began to come up. My fear of failure. I had a huge fear of money. When I first started my company, Salim, I discovered early on, oh my gosh, I am trying to become somebody that somehow I have learned how to hate. I wanted to be a successful business person. And somehow, as I grew up, I picked up this real negative mentality of a successful person. They were greedy, they were slick, they were the used car
Mm,
salesman, they lied, they only cared about money. I had all of this stuff that really jacked with my thinking that
mm,
I had to work through. And but the great thing is that I kept track of the path, working through those thoughts and working through that mindset. And I learned how to get on the other side of that mindset. And now I'm able to use that when I'm working with each of our clients because many, many people have these same issues when it comes to success or money or business or just giving things up and trusting other people. Man, there you go. There's a huge piece right there just in building a team. So often we have a hard time trusting others. And so we don't want to give things to them, you know? And so I'm just going to stay here and it's just better if I do it. It's like, well,
mm,
okay. And again, it's not that you're wrong. You can definitely do it. It's just you have to go to work every day. You got to be in the office.
mm,
And if you ever are not in the office, you're freaking out because you're going, oh no, everybody's screwing me. Everybody's messing up my business while I'm away, and so you can't really be away. So that can
mm,
be a really hard thing. So that is the weapon that I help each of our clients that need to learn how to slay that emotional dragon. And Salim, I've actually got a brand new client that actually just today we had our first meeting together, and as soon as I hung up the phone, it was like, ooh, this will be interesting to see if they're able to work through the emotions because
mm,
already I'm sensing a lot of resistance on and just being
mm,
very emotional, on
mm.
the call.
Wow.
And
Yeah.
so
I've always believed it's, 80%, 80% of success is mindset. And,
there
when
you
it comes to
go.
mindset, like you're also talking about emotion, right? I think emotion is a
Yeah,
subset of mindset. Is that what it is?
completely,
Yeah.
completely.
Because it's
And usually
emotions,
what
but it's
goes
also like underlying beliefs. Maybe there's values and all that makes up our mindset.
exactly, and let's say if I can use some circles here, okay? Let's say that this circle right here is my emotional capacity. Okay, this is my emotional mindset, whatever you want to call it, but this is my capacity. But out here, that's my responsibility. I've
Mm,
got this much responsibility, but this is my capacity.
okay.
So the
Yeah.
space between here and here, I call freak out zone.
Mm,
And it's just because I don't have the capacity to manage or to process this level of complexity.
mm,
And usually, what we do, Salim, is we want to say, oh, I just can't wait until things slow down. I
mm,
just need a break. I just need a vacation. Man, I'm looking forward to the slow season. We
mm,
try to bring our responsibility and shrink it down to meet our capacity.
mm,
And what we do with the leadership initiative is
mm,
help you expand your capacity to meet that responsibility. So
mm,
you can go from here to there to there to
mm,
there to there and keep growing in your success. I
mm,
heard one time that the price of success is organization. And to the degree that you are not able to stay organized, again, it doesn't mean you won't be successful,
mm,
but your success will be limited by
mm,
your ability to organize or to manage. Because
mm.
again, if my success is out here and my
Yeah.
ability to organize and manage is here, it's just going to be, it's going to be crazy town and you're the
Yeah.
mayor, and
Yeah.
that's just not a fun place that's just
Right.
not a fun place to be.
Yeah.
So,
Boy, this
so
has been
learning
phenomenal.
how to expand there.
Clay, this has been amazing. And I'm looking at the clock and I'm like, oh my goodness, we got to
I
end
know,
this
I know. I just
soon.
looked up at the time too, and I went, "Hey,
Wow.
okay, yeah,
So let's kind of wrap up in a minute.
sure."
What's the best way for folks to reach out to you, learn about you?
Yeah, thank you. Again, with our company at the Leadership Initiative, you can Google the Leadership Initiative. You'll find me there. If anybody is listening, any of your listeners right now are in a spot where you feel like, man, my company has just gotten out of order. It's unorganized. I feel scattered. Clay, I can really understand what you're saying when you're talking about those emotions and how they get in the way of the time. If you're connecting with some of this, man, I'd love to talk to you. So give me a phone call. My cell phone number, all right? My cell phone number right here, this cell phone. Give me a phone call, 918-798-0852. 918-798-0852. And Salim, maybe you can put it on the show notes.
Will do,
I
of
don't,
course.
yeah, I don't have any problem with that, but that's my cell phone. Just give me a call. I'd be glad to talk with you about it. No charge. Just give me a call. Let's just talk through it.
Mm,
So that's one way. Another way is I mentioned my book that I have called Grow. That can be a good source. You can find that on Amazon and anywhere good books are sold, type of thing. You can find Grow. It's a field guide to personal growth. Also, if any of your listeners are interested, if you're in a spot where you're going, I've never had a business coach, and I need a Yoda in my life. I need a Gandalf in my
mm,
life. I need a
mm,
Morpheus in my life. We watch these movies, and it's like, oh my gosh, it'd be so cool to have that mentor, to have that leader in your life. If
mm,
you don't have that, give me a call and we'll talk about setting up and running together
mm,
for a season in your business.
mm,
If I hadn't had my business coach, and Salim, I still meet with my business coach every week. It's been 12 years. Thursday morning, 7 o'clock, I'm meeting with my
mm,
business coach. Same business coach all the way through. And if I hadn't had that, then I would have just been doing my best with what I knew to do. you know?
Right.
And a lot of times you can read the books, you can hear the podcast, but again, all that information goes into that same capacity,
Mm,
and you need help to expand. And
mm,
I'm a firm believer that the way to expand, you're going to have somebody help you get there.
mm,
You're going to have, I think the universe is just set up that way, that we need other people to help us get to the next level. So, yeah, so give me a phone call, buy one of the books, or hey, let's run together. Go to my website, claystaires.com, ClayStaires.com, and you'll find out more information about what we do, and let's run together. Be fun.
awesome. Great.
Yeah.
This was good. Really enjoyed it, Clay. Lots of
Thank you,
good
Salim.
wisdom that you shared with us. I really appreciate it, man. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, this has been great, and I hope it's been beneficial to your listeners.
Awesome. You take care.
You too. Bye bye.